That was the wrong intro. None of those guys are on this show.
They are part of the team, though.
They are part of the team. We do like them. We keep them around. They're good guys, phenomenal guys,
beautiful guys.
Love what those guys can do for the show, but F those guys. Freaks Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again.
Oh.
Joined by Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC.
What up?
A lot to get into on today's show as rookie minicamp coming up. And the competition we've talked about from OTAs, is it really a competition? That left tackle competition, there seems to be some question marks around it. Not only from good old PFF, where we're almost certain there's a Braxton Jones cousin working up there or something. I don't know. He's got a relative. But also from Courtney Cronin of ESPN 1000 as well. ESPN Chicago, ESPN team as a whole. She talked about it over on the Chicago Bears podcast. Tap in with that episode. Double plug. Yeah. You like how we do that there?
Nice.
And we're going to have that conversation here. Okay. Also, PFF. Bears roster 17th. George JC. The date 6/2/2025.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7:03 in the morning. And I got one question for everybody. How'd we lose half a year? 6 months into 2025 already.
Time just flies, man.
Where'd he go? Man. Just yesterday, we were watching tipped Hail Mary passes. Poor runs off tackle. we were watching our quarterback be sacked 68 times. Where'd the time go?
Yeah, that's the deal. I'd like to speed away from that. That actually is not good.
6 months has not been enough.
Gee. Forget that.
Oh, God. It's so weird, dog. I looked up this morning. I was like, oh, this is fun. Good to look, another month, another opportunity to be great. Let's go out here and dominate. There's 6 months into 2025. Oh, I'm getting old. I don't like this. I don't like how fast these years are moving. Not a fan. Hey, Breeze Nation, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Leave a 5-star review.
Oh, yeah.
All right, JC, how you feeling this morning, my guy?
Oh, man, pretty good, man. Had a good weekend. Weather is kind of crazy here in Chicago. We had a picnic, had a nice, good picnic, but, man, had to cover the food like a bunch of times. It kept blowing off the picnic table. Like, I don't know what's going on with this weather. It needs to get in the 80s and 90s quickly here. I'm getting tired of the 60s and 70s with gust.
Well, I'll tell you what. You wish for what you get. That's what's coming this week, and it is going to be bad. It's gonna be. I love that Jordan's like, I want the hot weather. Then the hot weather's gonna get here, and he's not gonna be able to stop sweating.
Yeah, that is meat sweats, all type of sweats. Jesus,
is that sweater? Is that Amegadjie? It turned on real quick. It was fast. It was a quick turn. Watch yourself now. Hey, man, let's talk a little bit of football. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always. Let's talk about the left tackle position as we head into mini camp getting started this week. It's going to be the 3rd through the 5th. I will be up there the 3rd and the 5th. Got a funeral to go to on the 4th, so you probably won't see a ton of content from me on the 4th. So we'll probably do a morning breeze, and that'd be about it. But stay tuned in with us, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us throughout the week. It's going to be fun to see minicamp. One of the competitions that has been talked about has been the left tackle competition at nauseum. Bears fans at every turn, and I think the Chicago Bears as well as every turn, trying to change the left tackle position and upgrade that position. And one thing that really stands out, especially just from OTAs, is how quickly Ozzy Trapilo has kind of settled in at that spot, never playing it, already getting first team reps. Now, of course, that's going to be fluid. It's going to be up and down. They'll probably start Kiran on the first day of minicamp with the left tackle, give Ozzy the second day, give Kiran the third day, right? They are being fluid with this process. But are they being fluid for the conversation of the backup? Or are they being fluid for the conversation of the starter? Courtney Cronin said this over on the Chicago Bears podcast. Tap in with us. Phenomenal episode. Love what we did there. On I think that was this Friday's episode. Said
nice.
Which they've got right now with the left tackle spot is one I think to keep an eye on, and I think it's the right play to continue to tinker there. Get Kiran and Ozzy the reps that they need, and when Braxton Jones comes back, then it becomes a competition. But right now, all signs and everything, if you're reading between the lines, point to this being Braxton Jones's job to lose. He's already got 3 years starting experience. That's more than Kiran. That's more than Ozzy, of course, who's a rookie. And frankly, health aside, because we do need to figure out what he looks like with the ankle injury coming off of that, he is your best option. It's a no-brainer. The guy who played more at that position had a career year last year, and it might not be the best left tackle in the NFL, but he's but ESPN had him 4th in run block win rate from a year ago, and PFF had him 17th out of 140 tackles at that position in the pass blocking grade. Now, you guys know how I feel about the whole PFF situation. I think it's also interesting that PFF did put out their starting projections for rosters, and guess who's starting at the left tackle position? None other than Braxton Jones.
No,
like I said, I think Braxton's got a cousin, an uncle, an auntie. Somebody's up at the
Sammy Jones.
Corner. There's no way we're watching the same game. Jordan JC, I ask you this now with all of the pre-knowledge process in there. Is this Braxton Jones's job to lose? Is Braxton Jones still the best option for the Bears at left tackle?
Well, I mean, if you're just being competent and you listen to what Courtney Cronin said, obviously experience matters, right? That is the one thing that he has in droves over the other two. Kiran Amegadjie is just now getting into the league. Ozzy Trapilo is a rookie, has not even touched a game yet, in the NFL. And so, yes, 3 years over that, the total experience of those two guys, you want the experience. You want someone who, surprisingly, again, these grades, they come out and you're looking at him and he's right there in the middle of the pack, or he's right there at the top with some of these tackle grades. 17th in pass block grade, I had no idea. It mentions pressure on only 6.4% of passes. He's actually above Darnell Wright when it comes to the top 32 offensive tackles. He's right above that. Clay Harbor had that Twitter out, 25th, and Darnell Wright is 26th. And so question is, do you want to tinker with that? Do you want to mess with that? Obviously we've seen Braxton Jones, and I think maybe, and you mentioned it, we've talked about it at nauseum. Maybe it's because we kind of know Braxton Jones's ceiling. And so because we know there could be better out there that we could get, and the potential of Ozzy Trapilo is better than Braxton, the potential of Kiran is better, than Braxton. That's why I think we want to move forward. Because it's in a sense, I keep going back to the word stale. You kind of know what you're getting from Braxton, and it just looks the same. But every year he does his job. He's competent enough where, according to PFF, like, hey, whether he got a cousin or somebody up there, nephew Sammy Jones, or somebody up there is yeah, Sammy Jones.
That's his nephew's name, Sammy Jones.
Yeah, he's in that PFF department, the evaluation department. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you just have to kind of roll with the punches. Like Braxton is still here. He probably is going to be the option going forward. It makes sense that you're going to start with the guy that's been here, that's turning into the veteran, that's leading that left tackle room. And then you'll see, okay, is there still some competition to be had? Because in my opinion, what was one of the things that was a standout when they evaluated Ozzy Trapilo coming off the board? One of the very first things that it said is that he has the potential to be a day one starter.
Yeah.
And that's why you built this competition. And so I think the closer and closer we get to the season, you'll see that kind of play out where there could be a shakeup. But as of right now, I think the team wants to make sure there's a little bit more of a solid, defining, I should say, pecking order when it comes to that. And Braxton is still going to be there at the top.
Paulie G with the super chat. Shout out Paulie G. Said, is Braxton one of those dominant practice players? Yeah, not really. I kind of knew what Braxton was going to be in practice last season. So also, I have it on good authority that JC has a bird pot pie for dinner. Just
Come on,
kidding.
man.
Love you guys. That's tough to hear. I mean, I thought we were past the birds. I thought the birds.
Somebody said I had them at the picnic this weekend. Yeah, whatever. I love the birds. All right, I didn't do anything to the birds. The birds have been harmed in the production of this show.
We do have it on good authority that this bird was in fact harmed.
I didn't cook that. All right,
I like the garnish on the side there, JC.
The little what is that? Chives?
Garnish on the side, little chives, baby.
Kale. All right, whatever. Sick.
No, man, look, I think here's my thing with all of this, right? When I look at Braxton, the things that I look at with where Braxton has been is, do you want to say that he's ahead of the pack right now because of his experience? Sure. That's what we would have said about I can't even remember Buddy's name. He was that bad. The left tackle that was here when we brought in Braxton Jones.
Leno Jr.?
No. He was a guard. Was Leno Jr. a tackle? No, Little Jr. was a tackle, but I think he was gone already. Whoever I forget who it was.
I think I know who you're talking about.
The year we brought in Braxton Jones. There was somebody that was veteran.
I know who you're talking
experience, about. Was slated to be a starter, and Braxton Jones won that job out. So I think that you have to go out there and look at the possibility of, number one, the things on PFF that aren't as flattering to Braxton, the injury history that we've seen the last couple of years. Was it Charles Leno? I don't think it was Charles Leno. Bears Junkie said Charles Leno too. The injury history we've seen the last couple of years, the penalties that we've seen from Braxton Jones over a 3-year span. Braxton Jones is consistently drawing false starts or holding penalties because he's getting beat. Those are the things to me that I think will stand out, where I think it almost get Riley Reiff. That's Jesus, John Watkins. Clap it up. Stephen came at it.
Riley
Reiff, gross. Ugh. Yeah, that's where we were at. That's where we were at right there.
You.
No, Jason Peters was brought in because of Riley Reiff.
Oh no, Jason was a beast. 71. I remember that. No, Jason did his job.
Poor Jason. We just threw him out there versus Myles Garrett. We were like, figure it out, brother.
Picked him up while he was fishing, and he still did better than half the line. Yeah.
But no, I think that, when you look at the penalties, when you look at the holding calls, when you look at the false starts, those are things to me that will move him down in the depth chart. At some point, I don't know if it will be right away. Here's what I will say, and I've said this multiple times. The Bears aren't in a worse spot running the football this year on the offensive line than they were last year. The one thing I will say about Braxton Jones is, and I'll continue to say this, and this is probably where he does improve some in his game, having Joe Tuni next to him. He's good in space. You get him in space, you get him ahead of people, he can kill some dudes going on their left side. I love that. I think that that's an asset that the Bears need to utilize and probably will utilize more this season. But when you got a guy that's got to drop back like Caleb Williams, set hut, boom, here we go. It'd be nice to have somebody on the left side who can stand up in the pass block game. Now, again, Ozzy's going to come with his own set of struggles. He's a rookie tackle. I'm not telling you that everything's going to be perfect night and day and it's going to be leaps and bounds better than Braxton Jones right away. But the question that we had coming into this season is, I think, the same question we had when we were having the Justin Fields conversation. Can Ozzy's floor be Braxton's ceiling? And if it's even close, I think you have to go with the young guy, especially seeing somebody injured. Braxton's coming into camp with injury. He's dealt with injury every single year. I think this could be a situation, maybe not where Braxton Jones is just getting beat out day in and day out for the job, but where the offensive line looks cohesive by the time you get to training camp. And you just don't want to mess with the dynamic that you've built. You may like the 5 that you've already got there, whether it is Kiran, whether it is Ozzy, and you're going to go, look, Braxton, right now you're competing for the number 2 because like Ryan Poles said, like Ben Johnson said, we want to have this answered by the time we get to training camp. That's not that far away.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one of the things that you said that stood out just now is Braxton Jones may have a chance to maybe tap into something that we haven't seen before, because he's going to be playing alongside undoubtedly the best guard that he's ever played with, outside of maybe Tevin Jenkins, but Tevin Jenkins obviously had an injury history at that
just
point.
banged up.
He's just banged up.
Tevin was great, just banged up.
Just hurt all the time. But I mean, we're talking about an all-pro guard in Joe Tuni, who has been just a bill of health, constant, just consistent, always on the field. And so does that improve Braxton Jones? We know that the offensive line are supposed to kind of be in lockstep and are supposed to be, 5 altogether, kind of simpatico. And so is that there's something to be said with that? Does that tap into something where we only see Braxton Jones' ceiling, but now maybe there's something that can improve off of that? One of the things that you mentioned in the podcast with Courtney Cronin was you look back to the days where we thought that Tevin Jenkins looked better on the right side with Darnell Wright, and why they kept going away from that was anybody's guess. But you knew that you had 2 maulers right there on the right side that if you put them together, they're going to create some space. They're going to push up the field and create lanes for the running back. So just use common sense. But my thing is, with this new addition, with Joe Tuni, does that improve Braxton Jones's stock and trying to, solidify that position? Does he actually get better, put 5th grades? Does Sammy Jones go in and put those numbers up to maybe, top 5, top 10 in offensive tackle? So we'll see. I think that there's something to be said about that as well.
Sammy Jones is hilarious.
Sammy Jones, man, this is his nephew, man.
It's Braxton's cousin who's just trying to make those numbers look a little bit better.
Yeah, just Google. This is Sammy Jones.
Hey, Sammy, how you doing, brother? I don't know what you got going on this weekend, but did you bump those numbers up a little bit for me? Appreciate that, bro.
Oh, God.
Appreciate that. I'd like pure and utter domination, please.
Oh, Sammy Jones. No, that's Mike Jones right there.
Oh, Mike Jones. Anything to upgrade them pictures, man. Anything to just help us forget this.
Oh, God. I love how Tevin is looking like he's sliding down a slide. It's
a real picture, bro. To this day, it blows my. That's a real picture.
Oh my God. That is hilarious, dude.
This man called this and it sat on the sideline with Caleb. Oh, not our best day at the office, am I right?
Thought I would protect you, huh? I can't even protect your job.
Bro, that was nuts, bro. That man really caught that play, bro. Hey, you want to know what the worst part about this is? They coached to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were literally coached to do that.
Jesus.
Steve said Tevin sliding in a second.
Right. That's a baseball slide he got going there.
Thrown out
water park slide. Jesus.
Was absolutely thrown out by a mile. No, man. I thought the conversation around Braxton is an interesting one right now. I think that the Bears are in a. Let me ask this to the chat. Are you in a good spot at left tackle? That's the real question that I think you have right now. Like, we're sitting here talking about Ozzy. We're sitting here talking about Kiran. We're sitting here talking all these guys. Oh, love Braxton. Love what he does. The Jonesers are in the chat, and we already know that they just love anything Braxton does, and he's never gotten a fair shake in life. Ozzy Trapilo coming in. I think that he's going to be the starting left tackle. 2nd round pick, like with the Bears, like the chance the Bears have taken on him. Brian Amegadjie was a 3rd round pick last year. But like with all 3 of those names, do you feel like the Bears are in a good spot at the left tackle position, or does it just feel like, yeah, we got bodies that stand there?
I like what Steve-O says. I think we're at that spot where it's like, man, we're good. We're at a there's a heartbeat there, right? There's a baseline. It's not like, oh, let's go. We're alive. We're breathing. We're not dead. But if you have competition, healthy competition at that position, I think that's the most important thing. As far as talent level, I think it needs to raise up a little. I think it's nowhere near the other 4 positions that we have. It's nowhere near the Drew Dahlmans, the Tunis, the Jonah Jacksons, even, or the Darnell Wrights, in my opinion, as far as talent level. But it's competent enough where, again, if you put it alongside those 4 guys, it looks better, right? It looks better. If you're like the weakest link in the link of 5 guys, you might actually improve just because the other 4 are Well, come on now.
I didn't say nothing. I thought about it though. I thought about it.
The weakest league, 5 guys.
I left it out. I just thought about it. I didn't say nothing.
All right, there's no flags. All right.
I didn't throw it. You watch yourself, buddy.
Oh boy, what a Monday. But yeah, it's just it's like you look better. So at the very least, there's competition there brewing. I think that Ozzy is the best of the bunch if I had to take a guess as far as talent level, but it's clear that there still needs to be an upgrade there. But for now, it's meh.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see kind of where this tackle position ends up. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineup coming here, projected by old PFF. I think some interesting names, and actually kind of not really interesting, I should say. Just kind of feels like the lineup's locked up. It's a weird feeling coming into the season, so we'll talk about that and more coming up here on the other side of the break. But first, we do want to tell you guys all about our sponsors at Factor.
Oh boy!
Like button, subscribe to the page. New ad. Breeze Nation, we're going to take a quick break in the action to let you guys know about today's sponsor on this episode, Factor. Listen, y'all already know with how busy my lifestyle is right now, whether it's just living life or being with the family or hosting the Breeze, I don't have time every single day to get in the kitchen and cook something, and that's where Factor comes in. This season, they make things simple and easy with healthy eating delivered right to your front doorstep. Last night, I enjoyed the grilled filet mignon and creamy Parmesan shrimp, as you can see on the screen. It was absolutely delectable. And this morning, I enjoyed a smoothie to get the day started right. That's because Factor is giving you everything you need for your active lifestyle, including Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, and more styled meals. It's not just dinners either. We're talking breakfasts, lunches, snacks, and guilt-free desserts. So what I need you guys to do is go to factormeals.com/breeze50 off. Use the code breeze50 off for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Again, that's breeze50 off at factormeals.com/breeze50 off. Healthy eating delivered right to your front doorstep. Now let's talk more football. That's right. Support us over at Factor. Appreciate y'all.
Did I see Herb Greek chicken with tomato penne?
Yeah, you did. Oh, it was delicious, man. Oh, Factor got it down, my boy. Factor got it down. Let me tell you this right now. I needed a quick dinner last night. Boom, Factor. Easy. It's just moving, doing too much, just spending time with the kids. It's like 7:45. We need to eat something. Factor. Boom.
I'm gonna have to get on board.
It was
baby.
It was a good time. It was a good time. As always.
Very nice.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We actually are, in theory, over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. 200.
Oh. Yes, now. All right. Good job.
300. That's right. That's what I like to see. Keep it going. That's when you thought you were done. Get your second win. Let's keep this conversation going, man. Talking about projecting the Chicago Bears starters. PFF put out their projection for the Chicago Bears starting lineup here, and we'll probably have to do this on the show this week when we're all together. Predict the Bears starting lineup because we're running out of stuff. Actually, probably not because we'll have minicamp. So let's skip that. But no, man. We're at that point in the season. It takes everything into account in all of this, right? So it takes your 2024 NFL grade into account. Also takes 2024 college grades into account, and 2023 college grades for some people who do we have somebody on here? We don't have nobody on here that was a 2023. For some of the COVID year people who maybe didn't get the 2024 season. Just move past that.
Whatever.
Looking at the starting lineup that PFF has projected for the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams does win the starting quarterback job.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Swift are your running backs 1 and 2. They didn't order it. Technically, they do have Roschon Johnson better than DeAndre Swift based on their fifth rankings.
Switch up there.
69, nice, 0.5. And DeAndre Swift coming in at a 61.3. DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and Roma Dunze are your starting 3 wide receivers. I don't think there's any shock there.
For the course, yeah.
Cole Kmet gets the number 1 look at tight end. No shock there.
Okay.
You thought maybe a little
Well, I got a lot more love for Loveland than
Loveland action. I don't see that. Braxton Jones, Joe Tuni, Drew Dolman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright will be your offensive line per PFF. I don't think there's any surprise in there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. That's the part that feels good about this.
Yeah.
Like we're not going, bro. When's the last time we've gone into the season and been like, yeah, we got 4 to 5? Maybe there's a question with the 5. Maybe there's a question with your left tackle. But when is the last offseason where you were like, yeah, I know exactly who's playing on this offensive line?
Was it the year we had Justin going into the season with DJ Moore the first year? When they were predicting Justin to be a top quarterback after he had that rushing season?
After he had the big rushing season? Yeah, but I think we were still trying to add pieces at the offense. Well, if I'm not mistaken, is that not Darnell Wright's season?
That was the year he was drafted.
Yeah, there was still a ton of question marks.
So that was a question mark there. And then, of course, we had, you know what? I forgot about Nate Davis. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Never mind.
You were dealing with Mr. Day-to-day himself.
Play to play. Nate Davis.
Like, I think that's the thing, right? You feel in a much more solidified spot coming into this season. We haven't said that about a quarterback probably since Mitch. And even then it was like, we got Kyle Long and we got, Cody Whitehair and this is the guys of the team that can kind of play. It's not the worst group in football, but you didn't feel like, no, I feel like that's solid. That feels like a different spot for me. Looking at the defensive line and the defense as a whole, defensive interior, Grady Jarrett and Javon Dexter getting the nod as the starting interior. Andrew Billings moved into the back burner a little bit. Grady Jarrett coming in and taking over that spot. Dio Dagbo and Montez Sweat going to be your edges with Dio. Me say Dio. Daylight come and we know how to go. Oh.
Wait, I love it every time you do that. I'm sorry. I look forward to it.
Austin Booker getting the backup edge role as things sit right now. Trey Hendrickson trade not in play here for the for PFF. Starting linebackers Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards, no shock there. Starting DBs to Jordan JC's chagrin, Tariq Stevenson does still make this team. Tariq Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, and then your safeties Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard. Again, it's just a weird place to be where you can just walk out there and go, this is the exact team that we expected to be out there. And I'm pretty sure this is the team that's going to be on the field. Now, here's where this does get interesting, because on top of all of that, PFF did go out there and do a roster ranking. And this Chicago Bears roster that we just named off that has us all tingly, all excited, ranked 17th in the NFL on PFF's roster ranking, which, listen, I can't even sit here and tell you is a bad rating for them. They talk about the biggest strength being our offensive tackles, which I don't know about that, but all right. Our biggest weakness, offensive execution, which is a punch in the gut.
Okay.
Where do they struggle most?
Last year.
Where do they struggle most?
Executing on offense. Scoring.
Football is where they struggle most.
Points.
They also did the X Factor for the 2025 season, of course, Caleb Williams, and rookies to watch for PFF, Colston Loveland. Jordan JC, when you look at this roster right now, do you feel like 17th is probably right where the Chicago Bears need to be? They're right behind the Atlanta Falcons. 15 is the Dallas Cowboys. 14 the San Francisco 49ers, 13 the Packers, 12 the Los Angeles Chargers, 11 the Commanders, 10 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 9 the Broncos, 8 the Minnesota Vikings, 7 the Houston Texans,
Broncos are up,
6 the Los Angeles Rams, 5 the Buffalo Bills, 4 the Kansas City Chiefs, 3 the Detroit Lions, 2 the Baltimore Ravens, and 1 the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia
Eagles. Yeah, obviously. I mean, when you think about that ranking, I mean, I have no problem with it. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's just right, like a nice warm bowl of porridge.
Porridge.
I didn't I say that last week, like porridge or oatmeal or something like that?
Was it 1937? Are we sending children to work in factories and giving them a bowl of porridge?
That's right.
Before they go,
bowl of slop. Yeah. No, I think that's right there in the middle of the entire league. I would say that's fitting as far as the start of the season. If you look at this roster up and down, it is vastly improved. And I think, again, going back to what we talked about before, there's a lot of areas for this ranking to improve, but you have to prove it. And this is where I would say I would put them until they show that the roster can actually be better. Because there's a few teams. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm not exactly sure of the entire roster of the Denver Broncos, but that seems very, very high for Denver. But I mean, if that's where you want to get to, what did you just say? Denver is 9th, I believe. Did you say Denver is
Denver
9th?
coming in 9th? Here's what I will say about this: the Denver Broncos coming in 9th, elite defense, which it is. That was a strength.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Biggest weakness they had was offensive weaponry. I think there has been a little bit of an addressing of the weaponry, but I mean, you still rocking with Cortland Sutton and Audric Estime is probably your net. Well, no, probably RJ Harvey, the rookie they brought in,
the new guy.
Yeah, I'll probably say RJ Harvey, which I think helps with that team. And the X factor is Evan Ingram, so that's not a great thing to do.
Well, there you go. There you go. So I mean, there's room to improve. I like where we are to start. The teams above us, I have no problem with most of those names in the ranking. Obviously, they have proven it in the season. And so, again, that's where you go out and you say, we have the roster that could potentially be a top 10 roster. You have veterans that you've picked up. Your offensive line has technically greatly improved. But, again, have to see it. The offensive execution, yes, we know that was piss poor last year. Didn't go well because we didn't have the staff that did it well. We didn't have the players on the field that were on the same page. There were times where Caleb was not on the same page with DJ Moore. Passes coming up short. Obviously, him having to scramble to save his life to try and come up with some sort of play. And so the execution definitely wasn't there. We hope that is fixed because you have one of the guys that knows how to execute an offense in Ben Johnson for the last 3 years. His track record shows that he can do that very, very well. And so that's where I say I'm fine with where we're at, but let's hopefully say that by the end of the season, we've shown that we're an elite offense when it comes to execution. We've shored up the offensive line and that the protection definitely is there now. And so all of these are actual sure things. So we'll see.
I think what stands out, and it's funny to me, right? When you start to look at the rosters that are ahead of the Bears, it's literally just teams where the question isn't the quarterback. Like that's kind of the Bears are the beginning of we're not questioning whether this quarterback can be talented or not. And maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe the Falcons are the beginning of that, right? Because Michael Penix Jr. still a question mark coming into this season. Hopefully he has a continued growth based on what we saw in the second half of last season. So the Falcons probably are the beginning of that. The Bears right behind them at 17. But you look at all the teams after that. I guess Cincinnati, there is no question, but there's a question on every other part on that defense and on that offensive line. So they kind of get thrown into the mix here. But then it's Arizona. Yeah, you got Kyler, have fun. Yep. You got the Colts. There is no answer there. You got the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. I don't even know if he's coming.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Seattle's got Sam Darnold. And you put him in literally all the situations where
Metcalf
he's
is gone
at being quarterback.
Yeah.
Vegas Raiders, you got Geno.
Got Brock. Yeah, you got some decent pieces over there.
Like Jacksonville's on that list there. New England, I get maybe New England. You feel like you got an answer there, but we'll see. Got a new coaching staff with Drake May. I like Drake May a lot. New York, you got question marks all over the place there. The Jets. Question marks all over the place there with Justin Fields now. Carolina, I mean, like it really is like the Bears are kind of the beginning of that, like, well, who's the quarterback part of this? And I think that changes all of this, right? Like if you're talking about offensive execution being the Bears' biggest weakness last season, does adding Joe Tuni and Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson improve that offensive execution? I think the obvious answer is yes. That's going to help you move in the right direction in some way. Is adding Luther Burden to the list, is adding Ben Johnson to the team, is adding Antoine Randall to the team, is adding, right, all of the things that you did this offseason for the offensive execution. Is adding those pieces going to take your offensive execution into the right direction? Really seems like it'd be incredibly difficult not to.
Yeah, it's all in alignment with each other. I think, as you mentioned, the offensive execution comes from better protection. It comes from you get Caleb Williams more timing, and that allows him to be way more comfortable where he doesn't have to technically use his superpowers and have to scamper all over the place. And I don't know, we haven't used that. I know it's not on your soundboard for this. I don't think.
But the scamper music.
Hey, all right, that foul. You got to do some loopy loo. You can stay within the offense, in the frame of the offense and the play, and actually throw a decent pass. And so I think that, again, is all kind of works well together. Is now that you have better line play, you're going to have better quarterback play from that. You're going to have a more comfortable quarterback who can stay within the pocket and kind of scan the defense and not have to worry about somebody breathing down his neck. And so that's where I see the improvement as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's the conversation on this team improving. It's a no-brainer that they're going to have to get better in so many different avenues. And I think even right with the guys that I have question marks on, you know what I mean? Like my big question mark is DeAndre Swift coming into this season. Is he going to have a bounce back year?
Running back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is. It didn't look good. Is DeAndre Swift not going to be able to get hopefully 55 to 60 yards per game? Like, how much is that going to change Caleb Williams? How much does having a guy who can go out there and just be baseline average change the offensive output? Oh, knocked over my factor smoothie. Tap in with it.
No, do that. Oh, you're drinking. That's why.
Yeah, I was up a little bit earlier today. I get a little lift in.
You worked out. Right.
Yeah, a little workout, a little something. I mean, nothing crazy.
On that level.
But how much does that change the Caleb Williams that you get this season, also with a year of experience? So I think all of that plays in, man. And when you look at kind of how this team is going to lay out the execution portion of the game this year, Ben Johnson is not going to stand for a lot of the things that we've seen from a Bears football team over the past 5 to 6 years. I don't think you could just go with the Flus situation. I think you can go all the way back to Nagy with some of the ways that we've seen this thing just kind of slip away time after time after time. And just almost the problem with Nagy was like he was so stuck in his ways that he didn't actually want to adjust to what helped the team get better. It was like, dog, like every time you run the football, the Bears look better. Oh, I didn't come here to run the T formation. Thanks. Did you come here to win?
Shut up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My thing is, if you look at the other side of the ball, because you want to talk about execution, a name you mentioned, which I know you've already said, I'm not a fan of, but I've given him a little grace, and I'm going to say that maybe he comes into this year a little bit more prepared. Is Tariq Stevenson? That's maybe one of the few question marks I have on that side of the ball. Is just, how are you executing as well? I understand that he is skilled. He has the look to be a very good cornerback too. But when you get with these coaches, when you get with Al Harris, what is he telling you as far as your mental stability, your mental fortitude, as far as being focused, staying within the game, staying within what you have to do, your assignment? That's what I want to see specifically from him. Outside of that, again, you don't really have too many question marks on the defensive front, the linebackers. Maybe you have an issue with linebacker 3. We still got to address that to an extent. I know Noah Sewell might be getting a chance there. And then, of course, you have Ruben Hippolyte, who could get a chance as well. But outside of that, there isn't that many issues, on this team, which is why I feel okay, again, with them being kind of in the middle of the pack for teams.
Yeah, listen, I think it's right about where they are. And I think the change is that if Caleb Williams does hit this ground running, you could jump up quickly. Yeah. Like it truly is, right? you have everything at your disposal right now, and you just have to take advantage of it. Like there has been no quarterback in Chicago with a better offensive line than right now. I will stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as pass blocking goes, who? We maybe Jim in 1985, maybe. I'll put him up there. There's a lot of Hall of Famers on that list, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But from 2000 to now, there's nobody on this list that I think has stood behind a more talented offensive line. Now, maybe Jonah Jackson is where that question mark comes in because of him having to switch to the right side and not being on the left side where we've seen him be at his most successful. But then how much does Darnell Wright help with that? Does that mean that Jonah Jackson can't play the right side? Ben Johnson knows how to utilize this guy. He's already been with him. You've invested in a line that actually feels like, oh, this is that they know how to block and, move forward.
Is there something to be said? Is there something to be said about lining up right next to your brother?
You know what I mean?
Darnell Wright.
Is Jonah Jackson and Drew Dahlman going to be?
Darnell Wright looks just like Jonah Jackson
and Darnell Wright. They're going to be twinning it out here.
I swear they look just like each other.
They're going to be twinning it out here, bro. That is a wild one to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to see if I had that picture too.
It was somebody else. I think it was Jonah. It was Darnell Wright, and I think it was somebody else. And it was like all
Matt
three
Pryor,
of these guys.
wasn't it?
Matt Pryor, yeah.
All
Matt
Pryor?
Three of these guys look like. Is it just that they look like each other, or is it they got the same hairstyle? Just that flowing.
Matt Pryor's got the hairstyle of a serial killer. So Matt Pryor, he's got a hairstyle that can murder.
Oh my God.
They are twins, bro.
Oh, they look just like each other. Where in the world did this come from?
It's a web file. I hate when they do like the web file. Hold on, let me just do this. Let's see. Bow. About you just share the screen. Nothing to hide here. I mean, bro, like
Jonah and Darnell. Yeah.
I mean, it is uncanny. This
What's
ain't
going
just,
on in that family?
Hold on, here we go. That's the one right there.
What's going on in that family? Somebody got some splaining to do.
What's going on in that family?
Somebody got some splaining to do.
Darnell, you sure you're a Wright and not a Jackson?
No.
Nah, man. But I think that the season is going to be a completely different outlook if Caleb Williams hits the ground running with this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's going to be a completely different conversation around this team. And I think 17 right now, based on where they were last season, makes a ton of sense. I think that if Caleb Williams hits the ground running, I could see this team as high as the 10th through 12th best roster in football.
Okay. That's improvement.
I don't know if you're in that top. Yeah, you're not
like top 5, top 8. Yeah. That's elite range for now.
The only thing I will say is Houston has still a lot of question marks at on that offensive line. Yeah,
where are they at?
Robinson. Yeah, I mean, like there's some nice pieces that you added, but like I don't know if you did anything to really try and help CJ Stroud from an offensive line standpoint. But I don't know if the Bears are, that Tampa roster is still kind of solidified. Maybe you could be in that range, that Broncos range. But outside of that, I don't think they're a better roster than the Vikings. I think the Vikings just have a bigger quarterback question. I don't think they're better than the Rams right now. I don't think that they're better than the Bills right now. Like I feel good about kind of where the Bears are with the ability to climb that list quickly. So we'll see what ends up happening, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. If you have not done so, we got over 280 people in the on the YouTube side. Got 50 likes. Let's get up over 100 likes before we get up out of here, man. And drop a bird down in this mug, man. Be on that Twitter side, man. 105 people over on the Twitter side. Hit that retweet button, man. Share this thing up, or repost button, whatever Elon's calling it these days. I don't know what he's calling it. It's his website. I don't care. But hey, man, as always, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love for Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. It's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bet down. One love.
Let's go. Let's go.
I didn't have any outro comments this time.
I was going to say, are those the outro comments?
Those are the outro comments.
All right.
Watch a bird. We got a bird down in the chat. Oh, God.
Bird down? Come on, Ernest.
Oh.
They are quiet today, I will admit. No noise. Feels great. Feels good. I didn't do anything. They got the memo.
It's because you put that cousin out on the windowsill.
Jesus.